Cello while Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive. I almost was ready to apologize for being late, but actually I made it right in the nick of time, and I just gave Keone an absolute heart attack. How are you doing, Keone?
Listen, I'm only glad you're here because I'm in my rough stage right now. My hair's not cut. I look a mess, and I was like, am I really going to have to pop on here and do that 5 minute where I talk and annoy everybody until you get here?
Yeah, no. I wouldn't leave you hanging, but I did have to pee. And that's what happened. You know, normally I come on, 2 or 3 minutes before, and, we get all sudden.
How are you psychic and you don't know when you have to pee before you have to pee?
Because it really has nothing to do with the psychic aspect of things. It has to do with me trying to cram 50 pounds of mud into a 5-pound pail in terms of timing. So
I do have a question.
Wrapping up an email. And, I've learned recently, I used to have a team of people that did all this stuff for me. And, life happens. And I'm doing it on my own. So I'm learning MailChimp and, I'm not an idiot. I get the general gist of certain things, but there are some things that don't come easily, right? If you don't know.
I have shown you some things that, people were providing services for that seem like it's a lot to do, and you learned that it's just cut and paste. So I'd say that aspect. But I do have a question, because I did In the Stars with Dwayne this morning. By the way, everybody, you can catch In the Stars with Dwayne and the Black Feather Intuitive the last Wednesday of every month at 12 p.m. So if you like getting a reading and guidance, and you can get a horoscope from Dwayne on that show. But I saw him this morning, and he talked about like 72 retrogrades going on right now. What is happening? Why are there like 19 retrogrades going on?
So we actually have, up until 2 days ago, we had 7 planets in retrograde. We now have 2 of those planets that have gone direct. So we still are having like a lot. So we're in the shadow of everything. And, how many planets do we have in our solar system? So it's basically like our whole little universe is completely in a space of, okay, you need to just everything, reflect, reuse, relax, everything. So it definitely is quite a challenge right now for a lot of people. And I don't know if any of you guys caught my Insta. I went on live today, just kind of an impromptu live, because I woke up this morning with hella fear and dread. Don't know where it was coming from. It just felt like, and I went to bed last night feeling pretty good. It's one thing if you're like stressed, you got anxiety, you go to bed with all of that, and then you wake up with the fear and dread. This is completely different. I went to bed feeling fine, and I woke up going, oh my God. And nothing really horrible happened today. I wasn't even sure what was really going to go on. Like, is this about me? Is it something I'm picking up in the collective? Is it something that I'm picking up in my inner circle? Like, what is all of this? But I know that we're all really being affected by the planetary energies right now. I like to say it's just like the moon. And one of the reasons why I love to follow the moon so much is that we're all made up of water. So the moon governs and regulates the water, the tides on the planet. That includes us. So just a lot of stuff. Have you noticed that as well, Keone? Did you have any kind of fear and dread today?
What do you mean fear and dread today? That's an everyday occurrence with me. Today's not any more special than the rest. Everything's been wonky. My computer's been wonky. My phone's been wonky. My employees have been wonky. Everything's just out of whack. And Dwayne was talking this morning. There's so much going on. I'm like, look, these planets need to get it together because, I got stuff to do, and I don't need everything running amok.
Yeah, I said that to my friend today. I was like, I'm so over Mercury retrograde. Like, I'm just so over it. Can we just be over it? Like, can't I be, yes, we absolutely are taking questions tonight.
Well, Stacy is taking questions. I'm not. You don't want
you're not, but I am. Yes, I am happy to take questions, Anna. But yeah, I'm so over retrograde, and I talk so much about, our power and embrace your power and, step in your power and work your magic. And I'm in these times, in these moments, I'm like, can't I be powerful enough to just like not and say I did with this particular Mercury retrograde? Anyway, c'est la vie. And here we are. So hoping that everyone is doing really well today, in spite of the kooky energy. I have been working really hard. You guys are going to hear me talking about this for a while. You've been hearing me talking about it for a while, and you're going to be hearing me talk about it a little bit more. Check out my Tarot Quest 101, a journey into intuitive card reading. It is completely free. It's a mini course that's about an hour and 20 minutes. You can go back and watch it in stages if you want. It's a beautiful journey through the major arcana of the tarot. And I teach you how to read tarot intuitively for yourself. And this is opening us up to my new membership, Tarot Intuitively. Learn tarot or deepen your practice the fun way. It's going to be opening up October 1st. So the only way to get on that wait list is to watch that Tarot Quest 101. And I'm really proud of it. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to share all of the juicy goods and tidbits that I have learned over the years, because reading tarot did not come naturally to me, let me tell you. I tried it for a number of years and finally just kind of gave up, thinking that I just, I'd love to be psychic, but I'm not. I'd love to be able to use tarot cards, but apparently it's not for me. And when I stumbled across this sort of method, if you will, and it's really kind of a hodgepodge of a couple of different things, it was really a game changer. And I'm, as in true black feather fashion, it's all about me taking my adversity and my challenges and sharing it with you, sharing the solutions with you, or the ways that I got through it, so that hopefully you don't have to go through the same adversity, and that you can thrive in your path and live your best life. So in that spirit, in that fashion, I'm pulling a card for wherever we are at in the energies today. And, if you're watching this video 3 weeks from now, or 3 months from now, or 3 years from now, I set the intention that you're going to receive exactly what you need from your guides through this message. So the card that I pulled today, oh, I love it. 9 of Pentacles. So feeling kind of like this is what we need to know from the universe at this time. And we're talking about 9 of Pentacles. This is really like wishes fulfilled. All of the work that you've put into everything that you do is now bearing fruit. It's paid off. I want to say, I always think with this card about like learning to play the piano, or for me, it was perfecting the art of opera, learning how to sing opera, and a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of skill, a lot of learning, a lot of practice goes into all of these things that we do in our lives, all of the things that we wish to have come into fruition, all the things that we wish to be successful with. Yes, there's manifestation. There's definitely a lot of manifestation. We are constantly co-creating, and we also need to be, because we are co-creating, it's not being given something, we're a part of it. We also need to be ready and willing to take steps towards what it is that we are trying to develop, trying to create, trying to receive, trying to, all of those things. And what's really interesting about this card is it puts me in mind of the Strength card, because she's sitting with her tiger. And of course, the Strength card in the tarot, there's typically a lion on there, and she's sitting with her lion. The tiger, actually, I call, for those of you who watch me all the time, Mr. Neo. I always call him my little tiger. So it makes me think of him. It makes me think of our sort of bond and our little relationship, because that's exactly what he does. No matter where I'm at, he's just kind of chilling. He's chilling with me, or chilling by me, or chilling near me, or chilling on me. And I love this 9 of Pentacles with that, because I feel like the messaging for us this week is really about paying attention to those bonds that we do have, those bonds that bring us a lot of joy and happiness, those bonds that bring us a sense of calm and peace, and paying attention to the people that you want to share your wins with. If this is a card of that, actually, it's a different card that's mastery, but if this is a card that is about generosity and sharing that gift of mastery with others. You know, what good is wisdom, or what good is a skill? What good is being amazing at something if you're not able to share it, right? And it's not about the praise and the accolades and the ego puff up. It's about, this is what I came here to do, or this is something that I have created, and I want to share this with you because there was joy in this process, or it was a passion project. It was an experiment that went really well, or it was an experiment that I learned a lot from. And whether or not I would do it again, here's the final product. And I would like to share that with you. So this week, it's also really about connecting with those. Okay, everyone matters, but it's connecting with those that deeply matter to you. So this is your inner circle. These are the people that you are on a day-to-day basis doing life with. And I feel like that's kind of the message that's coming through here. Loyalty, companionship, support, you know, all of these things. These are things that you do for others. These are things that others do for you. The 9 is standing out to me. So 9 is that ending, that resolution, coming to the conclusion of something. 9 is also very deeply the number of service, being in service. 9 is so 33 and 333. This is sort of master number energy. But 3 divides into 9 and divides into 6 and divides into, you know, whatever. 9 is kind of that magical sort of divine number that really symbolizes the sort of the end of that fool's journey and the beginning of something else, the end of one aspect of service, one aspect of really connecting with self on a particular level, and the beginning of something new. But 9 is beautiful because it's all about celebration. It's celebrating the wins. And I digress. I was going to say ascended master energy, like I always think Mother Teresa. I think her life path number or something was 9. A lot of the people who really devote themselves and devote their lives to others to that degree and that capacity, a lot of them have that life path 9 because it really is about being in service to others, being in service to humanity. So I want to say, where are you being in service to your inner circle at this time? And how are you sharing your skills, your learned wisdom, the joy? How are you being generous with yourself, with your heart light, with your time? You know, so many times I think we get lost, or we get caught up in what, like the shoulda, woulda, coulda. Or I'm supposed to do this, and I got to get this done and that done and the other thing done. In the grand scheme of things, really, when you come back to it, ashes and ashes and dust to dust, does that really matter? You know, so pay attention to, are you completing things, or are you spending time with people that you would love to share your completed works with, as well as those works that are in progress? I feel like it's really about connecting with those who matter to you on that daily basis. Again, we all matter. We absolutely all matter. It's the people that matter to you in that day-to-day experience. So that's really cool. Also, I think it's interesting. I'm being drawn to this sort of little fountain. And this here is, I keep hearing like the mouth of truth. I forget the Italian name, but it's in Rome, and the whole Veritas, the whatever, the mouth of truth, whatever mouth is in Italian, it's the mouth of truth, the mouth of Veritas. And it's in a famous movie too, I think Roman Holiday. But the whole idea is you put your hand in, and you know, are you telling the truth? Because if you're not telling the truth, you're going to get your hand lopped off. But if you are telling the truth, you know, and it's an act of bravery, I feel like there's an energy of this as well, is really paying attention to If you haven't really put in the work or the time or the effort, can you really claim this as your truth? If you have not really invested a particular level of energy into it, can you really claim it as your truth? So I'm going to just leave that for you guys to ponder. I don't feel like there's anything more coming through around that. I know that I could talk a lot about, what does that mean? And you need to get more specific. And there are so many different circumstances that could play a part. I'm feeling like whatever thoughts you come up with around that, those are the thoughts that you're supposed to have. Those are the thoughts that your guides are sharing with you. But keep in mind, there's a lot of abundance going on here. Gratitude and generosity in sharing of yourself. Because we're all here learning from one another. And if we're not sharing that with one another, how can we learn from one another? All right, Keone, who is up? I'm in the mood for some readings today.
I'm glad you finished that. Started with I'm in the mood, but I guess they got tired of me poking fun at them for not being first the last couple of weeks. So as soon as I put the link in there, of course, Mr. Indu popped right on in here.
Well, that's actually Ragu.
If you call this face,
That's so funny, Ragu. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
if you call this face Hindu, there's going to be trouble. Yes, okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, how have you been?
I've been good.
Oh, he's hearing you.
Yeah, I think there's just a delay. I'm glad you've been good. Do you have a question for me today, or would you like a card pull?
Is there any? I just want to know if there is a message for me.
Say that again. I want to know if there is.
If there is any message for me.
Oh, a message for you. Okay. Let me tune in here, see what's coming through. Oh, this is strange. I keep seeing this doll. Feels like a child's doll. Feels like I want to say to you, when I see this doll, it's almost like a surrogate doll for healing. So a lot of Reiki masters and Reiki healers who do a lot of their Reiki work online will have a surrogate doll where they use that doll and they do the work on that particular area of the body. And I feel like for you, I'm seeing this image. I feel with you this sort of doll in some kind of sort of work. It also feels like the distance healing work is someone from your family background. Feels also like it's overseas. So I would say this is not someone that you're going to be doing this work. This is not someone who lives in the US at this time. And I see you enjoying the process of being the conduit so much and receiving a lot of feedback, positive feedback around the energy exchange, that it kind of lights your fire and gives you, kind of opens up a new way for you to be able to, interestingly enough, be in service. Kind of like the general card, but also like a way for you to not prove yourself, but sort of spread your wings a little bit. I feel like a lot of your own personal study has been very deeply for yourself, and you use it a lot for that for your self-awareness and your own journey and your own spiritual connection and all of those things, but you're also a very social person and you love to help other people. So I feel like this is also a time where you need to kind of talk about more of the things that you do, more of the things that you offer, and it's like the inner healer in you wants to come out, and wants to come out in ways that are more than just what you've done in the past. I feel that there's sort of a branching out of that, if that makes sense. So maybe a time for a surrogate doll. And, you know, I know that Indu sews and crochets and does like amazing things. Maybe she can create a surrogate doll for you that you're able to use. I feel like there's like, maybe you use one for family members and then you use one for non-family members. Like I see almost like this might be something that you start to do on a regular basis for people outside of your inner circle community. I want to say it's almost like you're hanging the shingle on the door like I am. But you know, whether you take money in exchange for the service and the healing, or whether you take some other form of reciprocity, I do feel that there's this energy of people needing to know what you do, what you're capable of, how you work with energy. Kind of an interesting message for you today. I can't hear you if you're talking. I'm not sure what's going on with our tech. Oh, we see the hand. What's going on with our tech? So I hope that.
Hold on. Go ahead, Raghu. His mic was echoing, so I had to mute him. So go ahead and say again. Go ahead, Raghu.
There was a lot of retrograde effect today. Still, there is that's continuing.
It's almost like music in the background. It's like this musical sort of shiny thing.
It's not connecting. Sorry, Raghu. Indu, I don't know which one's on the screen.
Yeah, Raghu, right?
Raghu. All right, we're gonna go to Anna. Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Do you have a question for me today, or would you like a card pull?
I have a question.
Go.
So I was recently offered a new position out of state, and I just wanted to see if there was any guidance or anything coming through regarding this.
Yeah, exciting opportunities. Okay. It feels delicious. It feels really good. Here's, speaking of Mr. Neo, sorry about the earthquake. It feels really good. This opportunity is going to really open you to like a whole new, I'm seeing like a whole new hallway of doors. So even though you're going to be going and doing this job, and I feel like it's similar to the sort of the skill set that you are comfortable working with, it's kind of in your wheelhouse. I also see that, and I don't know if it's specifically the location that does this. I feel like more it's like a combination of things, the location and the people that you're going to be connecting with. I see this whole new hallway of doors, a whole new hallway of possibilities that are going to be opening to you. I want to say, when I see the path that you're on right now, it feels like a bit of a winding road, but the road really doesn't intersect with anything else. It's kind of like you can see clearly where the destination is. It's kind of like a clear path laid out. This new path feels like, oh my God, so many different unique opportunities, and especially people that you're going to be meeting. I want to say there's a soul connection that you're going to make. I'm hearing within the first year that you are, if you choose to take this this role in this position. There's a soul connection that you're going to make. And I don't know if you're going to make this connection with this person at work, or if it's because you moved there that you're now in the vicinity of this particular person. I want to say I feel male energy, but I don't feel like this is a romantic partnership necessarily. It feels more like, oh my God, we love hanging out together, and we just like, we know one another, and we're on similar paths. And I feel just a lot of deep camaraderie and, a lot of cheerleading. You cheerlead one another. So I see this happening. This guy's going to be a little bit older than you. I want to say 5 or 6 years older than you, but you guys are going to be two peas in a pod. And I feel like this particular move, this company or this organization where you're sort of relocating to, they're looking to make big changes, but they don't have expectation that the big change happens overnight. They have a path to make the big changes with these significant middle changes. And they're bringing you on because of that, because you have the capacity. You've already done some of that stuff. So it's almost like you're bringing your own portfolio, and they're able to kind of use your portfolio. And then you're able to sort of expand on that as well. I feel a lot of success with this. And I know a relocation can be a little bit daunting, can be a little bit scary, but I see you within 6 to 7 months actually feeling like you're hitting the ground running. And that says a lot, because usually you can move somewhere and it takes a couple of years before you really start to feel like, okay, I didn't screw up. I didn't just abandon everything I knew. And, I feel lonely and isolated. I don't get that with you at all. I get, oh my God, I've arrived. This is amazing. There's so much to do, but there's also so much to do. So I want to say I'm not getting any red flags about this, but I am hearing that there may be a slight delay in, it feels like, paperwork, in terms of how, like, the timing of how this sort of works out. But don't take it as I'm not supposed to do it.
Okay.
Take it as, okay, there's something that needs to be ironed out, because if I go there and that's not ironed out, I don't want to have to deal with that. I'd rather that be all wrapped up in a pretty little bow and then I show up. So I feel like you want to kind of keep your what am I trying to say? Keep that in your mind, and keep your wits about you is what I keep hearing, because there's something about this where you're like, yeah, I'm all in. And they're like, yeah, we're all in. And then all of a sudden at the 11th hour, there's like oh, well, we forgot to mention this and that. And you're like, okay, well, let's kind of go back to the negotiation table. I'm still interested, but here's my criteria. Here's what I need to have happen. And I feel that will occur.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations on that. That's super exciting. Do you care to share where you're going?
It'd be Florida.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you get all the nice tropical weather. Of course, right now you're getting tropical storm weather. So you're probably like,
yeah, big change.
But no, I do see it being very positive. And I see it being extremely fulfilling for you over time as well. It's not even something that you're going to do for a couple of years and then try something else. I feel like it's okay. Yeah, I can really sink my teeth into this.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Thank you. I definitely needed some reassurance.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of encouragement, because I know the real, and by the way, if you decide not to go, it's not like it's going to be the worst decision not to go. But I will say to you, the path is more exciting if you choose to go.
Yeah. And I felt very neutral from the beginning. Like, I felt like if I stay, I'm fine. If I go, I'm fine. And so it's just kind of been a weird, normally I feel like my instincts are pretty like, do it or don't do it. And so for this, it's just kind of felt off. So off in a good way, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, just because there's so much that's brewing. And like I said, I think the off that you're feeling is that delay that I'm picking up, where there's like, they've got 3/4 of their ducks in a row. And you're like, okay, well, I'm all in if you give me the whole hog. You give me the 100%. right? But until that, I'm going to just sort of stay put. So what I would say to you is really make sure that paperwork is signed before you tell your current employment
Right.
that what I'm going to do.
Yeah, definitely. Thank
Awesome.
you.
You're so welcome. I hope you enjoy the rest of your
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
See you later. Oh, we got a card pull. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna let Merlin in. We had a late dinner. He gets so anxious. He's like so afraid that I'm gonna leave him out there. And it's not like that happens all the time, but I have had that happen once where I just like forgot he was out there. Thank God it was like early spring, so it wasn't crazy weather at all. All right. So this wheel is spinning slow, Keone. What is going on? I can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
I haven't spent it yet. It was waiting for you to come back in.
Oh, way.
There we go. We've got Jade.
Awesome. Does Jade have a specific question? Here we go. Yes, you may, Jade. Ooh, that card's flipping out at you. Oh, I love it. Okay, Jade, you got temperance. So here's what I'm getting for you. And I'm hearing that this is like the next week to the next month, specifically from a time frame perspective. There's a lot that you've got. You're juggling a lot in the air. I feel like there's a lot that you've put a lot of work and effort into, and you're sort of just like in this limbo or this holding pattern, waiting for the ship to come in kind of thing. And the temperance is coming through to say there's a little bit more that needs to be alchemized. So you can see here in the card, she's got 2 cups and she's dumping 1 cup into the other cup. And of course, she's got her foot in the beautiful ocean of emotion here. She's surrounded in pink. There's so much pink here. So it's really about that unconditional love, the self-care piece, the knowing of the self, and you're cooking something up for yourself. It's about you. It's for you. And I feel like you've got, these things that are juggling in the air that you're waiting. You're like, okay, when this happens, good things are going to happen, or I'm just waiting on this, and then the rest of my life can move forward. And I want to say to you, while that I feel like that is in fact the case, I call that the phoenix growing phase. You're in the womb where you're kind of receiving, or the hanged one card. It's kind of like I'm in limbo. I can't move forward until something else is done or handled. And then once that's done or handled, then I'm able to move forward. What I want to say to you is don't forget the significance or the importance of how you are putting yourself in your work, how you are putting yourself in the project, how you are putting yourself in all of those sort of spinning plates. Because I feel like for you, a lot of it is about everybody else. And you're like, okay, I've done this for this person and this for this person and this for this person. I'm waiting to see how it's all going to turn out for them. And of course, you're enjoying being a part of. But I want to say, I feel like your love cup might be a little bit drained, or a little bit like it's got a little bit of a leak in it. Or maybe you need some high test gas and you're using regular, right? So I feel that there's a little bit of energy there around how am I blending myself into the work that I do? How am I blending myself into the contributions that I'm making? I'm also really feeling called to bring to light the 3 lotus flowers that are in this ocean of emotion. And so lotus energy, they only grow up through the muck and the murky water and the mud, the thick, pasty mud. So, they're a great analogy for life and growing through adversity. And what's really interesting about this particular card is there are 3 of them on there. And I feel that you've got 3 particular things that are sort of waiting. You're waiting for them to come to fruition. You're waiting for it. I want to say when they pop up, when they come up and they come to life, it's going to be a huge celebration. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt the work that you've put in. Don't overthink just because you've got time to think. It's more like just like what she's doing. She's sitting in it. She's got her toe in the water. So she's present with what is. She's present with her feelings. She's present with her emotions. She's present with what is showing up for her. But she's very calm. She's calm, cool, and collected. She's patient. Temperance can be about patience. It's balance, tolerance, and acceptance. It's also that card of alchemy. But balance, when you have balance and you have tolerance, chances are you probably also have a little bit of patience in there in order to be able to get that. So I feel like it's important for you to not only infuse yourself into what you're doing and into your own environment, but to have some patience for the process. Because I feel like that's really all. It's like you're getting ready to turn the corner. It's so close. It's tricky because you've put all the work and the effort in and you're like, all right, I'm ready. Hello, what am I supposed to do? You know, I'm twiddling my thumbs. Everything's going to work itself out. It's happening this way so that you've got the opportunity to add more of yourself into the mix. I hope that makes some sense. I feel like this next week to a month is going to be full of wins is what I want to say. I almost said happy endings, but you know, Keone's going to call me out on that. So we're not saying that. And we're going to say it's full of wins. And I feel like it's going to be one in succession to the other, to the other, to the other. So I feel like your ship is coming in. Get excited about that. Feel into that, you know, think about all the things you're going to do when these things occur and be in the space of that in your present moment. And it's right around the corner is what I keep hearing. So continue to have patience, but it's not like you're going to have a ton of patience, if that makes sense. Thank you so much for submitting your question and giving me a chance to do a card pull. I appreciate you.
All right. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, I got it in me to do one more quick one.
Let's do one more quick one. Here we go. I've added Lori and Sandra. Got a lot of names in here today. Thank you, everybody, for your comments.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you, everyone, for showing up.
I'm pulling for Sue. I'm pulling for Sue. And, wow. I just added Lori. And wait. It's Sandra.
Sandra. All right.
Okay, so Sandra did not have a specific request. Oh, she did. Could I have a reading, please? I am new on here, so we have a new person. Oh, that's
thank you so much.
That's why I love the random.
Yeah, no, it's great. So, Sandra, what we've got for you is the World card, and I love the World card. It's the end of it's the final card in the major arcana of the tarot. So it really symbolizes you coming to a place and a time in your life with something. And I feel it's a specific path that you've been on, a particular aspect of your life. I'm hearing career in my mind. So I feel like it's connected to how you contribute to the world, where you're really kind of, you've reached a particular level. I'm hearing the word pinnacle. You know, you've reached the area of life that you've wanted, or the area of that particular thing that you're working on, where you're like, this is exactly where I wanted to get to. This is actually the Phoenix Soaring card. When we're talking about the Phoenix phases, in that you've done all of the work and now you're committed to this path and you're moving forward, and it feels really good. What's interesting about this is I feel in the next couple of months, you're going to start to get little downloads, little hints, little tiny inspirations, and even some little comments from people that may be a little back-ended. You know, that they're making comments and you're like, are you really complimenting me, or are you really stabbing me in the back? Like, were you insulting me with a smile? What is that about? And I feel like all of these things are coming up because, believe it or not, even though you feel like, yay, I'm finally here, and I've worked really hard to get here, and I'm so happy to be here, it's kind of like the universe is like, but wait, we actually have something more for you. You know, we've got an extra bonus, but you've got to jump through that extra hoop, or you have to be willing to let go of this vision in order to open up into that. I want to say it's the extra, right? It's the extra, it's the bonus, it's the yay, this is even more amazing than what I could have imagined. And I never even thought this existed. When I'm talking about your career, I feel like it's almost like you finally get the job that you've been looking for or you've been working hard for, and you get into it and you realize, in the process of me working hard to get here, I actually already superseded it or I surpassed it. And I didn't even realize that my skill set goes beyond what this is. So even though I've arrived here, I actually really need to be kind of going to the next level in order to not settle, but like set down roots and really work your magic. So I kind of want to say to you, don't be surprised if you finally get the promotion and you're in it for 6 months and you're going, okay, what's next? Like, I need that. What's next? And, a lot of us, we can talk about that and say, a lot of us are, goal driven or goal oriented, so that it's always about the what's the next, what's the next, what's the next. I don't feel that with you. I feel actually that you're quite grounded. I wish I could be that grounded. I'm the person that has to slow down and be like, okay, no, it's not about, all of the achievements, my crazy A-type personality. I feel like for you, you're quite grounded in that. So when this comes up, you're kind of surprised because you're like, wait a second, this is what I've been like, this has been the vision. This is what I've been like, everything I've been doing has led me to this. So why suddenly now is this not enough? And it's not that it's not enough. It's what I'm talking about for you is it's that I want to say the soul is saying, okay, we brought you here because if you hadn't been here, you wouldn't have had this as something that you could, sort of open yourself up to. You wouldn't have known that this was possible. So the work's not quite over. And I don't mean to say that in a wah wah kind of, fashion. I feel more like it's not over because there's something even better that's coming on. The next couple of months, if this opportunity does not show up in the next 2 months, I would be completely shocked. In fact, I feel like this could very likely show up within the next couple of weeks, and it's going to take you by surprise. It's going to just sort of show up in your lap. It's going to show up in a way that you could not have orchestrated if you tried. I feel like there are going to be a number of different moving parts that all just sort of coalesce, and boom, it's right in front of you. And I feel like there's also going to be this energy of we kind of need to know now. Like they're going to say, okay, I know that we weren't expecting this or that, but we kind of need to know now. Like we can give you a day to think about it, but we kind of need to know now. So there's going to be almost this sense of urgency. Now, a crisis on their part does not necessarily constitute a crisis on your part. However, I feel like this particular message is coming through for you because that time sensitivity, I feel like if you say no to it, it's going to not come back in the same form. It's not going to come back in the same way. And you will have to wait a while. And that might be, we learn all sorts of things no matter what our choice is. But I want to say that might be a bit, because you're already like, it's going to open that. It's like opening Pandora's box. It's going, oh, I've thought about the freedom that'll bring me. And now what I have in front of me right now doesn't feel so exciting. And now I'm having to kind of, amp myself up for it. So be very open to the process. I feel like whatever this is, it's going to be super powerful. It's going to be very exciting for you. And I feel a little bit of like fame or like notoriety within the arena that you're working in. So there's a level of people getting to know you. People getting to know who you are, which, to each his own. Some people are really into that. Some people are just like, oh, hell no, I want my anonymity. I can relate to that. I struggle with that. I do all of this stuff. And you should have seen my team when I was, starting all of this stuff. And I knew that it's one of my missions out there is to be available to anyone in the world who feels drawn to work with me, right? If it's an energetic fit, I want to be available, which means I have to have visibility. And I'm like, I don't really want to put my face out there. You know, I understand why all of these tarot readers on YouTube do the focus on the cards and all you see is their hands, right? They're smart because no one's really going to necessarily recognize them. So they've kept their anonymity while still being, you know, out there. Well, I didn't clue into that soon enough. So here I am. And now it is what it is, right? I mean, I've accepted it and I'm totally fine with it now. I'm open to it. But a lot of people, it is about that. I don't want to lose, you know, my kind of my right to my humanity, my privacy, and all of those things. So I feel like for you, there will be a level of, you know, fame coming through within your particular arena, and I want to say embrace it. Embrace it. It's going to feel good. And speaking of service being, you know, that being sort of the theme for tonight from our guides, it's one of the ways that you are in service, and you will always be, I want to say, rewarded. You will always feel fulfilled with that. That's what I got for you. Hope it makes some sense to you. And thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate that. Oh, please ask what the deck is. Yes. So this is a new deck that I've been working with. It's actually not a new deck. It's been around for like 15 years, but it's called Crystal Visions Tarot by Jennifer Galazzo. I am loving this deck. I went and bought like 4 or 5 new tarot decks, excited to kind of expand my, you know, my palette. And I just keep grabbing this one. I'm using it all the time. So it's, yeah, it's amazing. It's super pretty. There are like tons of, it's jewel colors too, jewel tones, which is totally me. It's all my colors. So it always kind of, it speaks to me. It definitely speaks to me. I love the little dragon in this one. So, all right, guys, that's what I got for you. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming on today. Check out my Tarot Quest 101. You can get that through, if you haven't already joined my Black Feather community, it's completely free. Join that because the Tarot Quest 101 is available in there. Otherwise, we will put something in the chat. I don't know, Keone, do you still have the link from last time to put it in the chat for everybody? If you don't, let me just copy it here real quick. I actually have it open. Actually, let me double check and make sure that I have the right thing open because I've been doing 50 million things here. Let me see. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna copy the link. Let me see if I can actually put it in. Can I put it in here myself? I might be able to do it, folks. Oh my God, I might be able to do it. We'll see if it pops up. There we go. Yay! So go and check that out. That's my Tarot Quest 101, completely free. Like I said, would love to have you on. And I'm dropping some hints now. We are in September, starting September 25th through to October 1st. I'm going to do a really cool series of live sessions just like this. And it's a little bit of wine and tarot. So we're gonna talk tarot. We're going to learn a little bit about some Phoenix wisdom in relation to the tarot, and I'm going to pair a wine with each of the cards that we talk about. It's going to be a half-hour show, kind of like this, and let's have some fun. Let's talk tarot, and even if you're not a winette like me, bring your own beverage. It's really more focused on the tarot and learning it intuitively, and community. Let's just get together and have some fun. It's like we're getting together over a bottle of wine and shooting the shit. So can't wait to see you guys there. Pay attention to all my posts and stuff for all of the details with that. We're going to do it kind of 5 days in a row. So I'm looking forward to that. Like, subscribe, click the bell. Love y'all. Mean it. Have a